Hey everyone! Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I am testing out a little bit of a new piece of technology, so hopefully you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or just let me know if you can't hear me. So it feels nice to get back into the swing of things. Hey Evan and Casey, good to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. Hi Janet and Diane and Lindsay, hello, hello. Okay, it looks like things are working quite well then. But like I said, let me know if anything is not working correctly. All right, so summer rolls. Do you love them? Have you ever made them before? Are they too intimidating and delicate for you to even try at home? If you're not familiar with summer rolls, they are basically a bunch of vegetables and sometimes protein, all wrapped up into a delicious rice paper wrap. These rice paper wraps are pretty delicate to work with, but I have a few tips to show you tonight to make it a lot less intimidating. Hey Vicky, thanks for joining. Good to see you on. So let me know, has anybody made summer rolls before? Or do you just resort to getting them when you go out to eat at a restaurant? So a couple of things. These are the ingredients that we're going to actually put inside the roll. And I have to say, I feel like the most tedious part of putting the summer roll together is actually preparing the things that go inside of it. Because you do have to chop up all of these veggies and whatever else you're sticking in the roll into a pretty, in a shape that's going to allow you to roll the rice paper up nicely. And so what we're going to do is matchstick the carrot, the cucumber, and the bell pepper, and we're going to finely slice the cabbage. I love putting purple cabbage in summer rolls. It's beautiful. It kind of, that bright, vibrant purple color pops through the white rice paper wrap and it makes it look really pretty, but it also adds some crunch to it. And by thinly slicing it, it's not too crunchy and fibrous to chew on. So that's another thing that you'll want to think about when cutting your vegetables into a certain shape to put in your summer roll. If it's fibrous vegetables like cabbage, you're really going to want to thinly slice them so that you're not gnawing and gnawing and gnawing to chew that up. Diane's saying never made. Janet's never made summer rolls. Awesome. Okay, good. So I hope that you learn a few things here tonight. These should be pretty easy to find at a grocery store. I find them in the international or ethnic aisle of your grocery store. So typically you can find them there. Or if you know that you have an Asian market in town, that would be a really great place to get them to. So let's go ahead and get all of these things chopped up. So I've got one cucumber here. I'm just gonna slice off the end. And to matchstick, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna envision that our roll is gonna be about, I don't know, 3 to 4 inches long. So we want to make sure that our matchsticks aren't going to be 6 inches long. So just keeping that in mind, I'm going to cut this cucumber into thirds. So our matchsticks will be about that length. And so what I like to do is just put them on the side and do some slices down like this. About 4, so you've got 4 sections here. And then we're gonna lay it on its side, and because it's gonna be really wobbly on the end there, just slip out one side and we'll cut him separately. And then so what you're just gonna do is come through and slice lengthwise again this way until you've got some nice thin, longer matchstick looking cucumbers. Like that, pretty easy. I don't really seed my cucumbers. Lindsay, I know that you don't like the seeds of cucumbers, so you could use a spoon and scoop out the seeds if you need to do that. Totally fine. And then I'm just gonna come through and slice this guy too. All right. So we'll just do that with the rest of these cucumbers. And sometimes if you don't feel like making a bunch of spring or summer rolls, you'll have some left over. You'll have some veggies left over, which is totally fine. I might have some left over here too. They're great to throw on salads. They're already cut up, so it makes for a really easy vegetable snack. Dip it in hummus, dressing, however you want to do it. So what's been going on, everybody? Y'all probably know that I was in Costa Rica last week. My mind is still in Costa Rica. I have not yet come back down to reality yet. It's been a week. I'll get there, maybe. Maybe not. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. Lindsay's laughing about the cucumber. Yes. Not a fan of the seeds, that one. What's the, Lindsay, is it an English cucumber that doesn't have seeds in it? Isn't there one that doesn't have as much in the middle going on? Yes, okay. So Janet's saying yes, seedless cucumbers. Yeah. Hey Nissa, I love that you have ideas for the leftovers. Yes, use your leftovers. It's tasty. I love all the fresh, crunchy vegetables in this too because it's perfect for summer coming up. We always hear that you need to hydrate and drink water and make sure you're meeting your liquid needs, but you can actually get lots of water from the vegetables that you eat, especially these here. Cucumbers especially. Bell peppers are also very high in water content, so you're actually hydrating when you're eating food too. So don't forget about that. Don't feel like you have to down, 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. So we'll do the same thing with this pepper here. I'm just gonna get the seed portion out of this pepper. Go ahead and toss this aside. Maybe compost that. If you're doing some compost, anyone doing compost? We just started ours in the backyard. It's good. It's amazing how much less trash you have when you recycle and then you compost on top of that. You'll find that you don't take out your trash as often, which is good, right? Less that goes in the landfill. Diane, how can you slice up cukes or any veggies and not eat a piece? I did. Did you see me? You must have missed it. I just snuck a piece of cucumber. I'll sneak a red pepper for you though. Always eating when cooking. It's hard not to. Lindsay, hashtag love what's left over. Yes, love it. Okay, carrots. I'm just gonna slice off the end here. Same thing with the carrot that we did with the cucumber. I'm gonna cut it. This should be okay, that size. And then same thing, doing those slices down the middle. You can also shred your carrots, or you could buy shredded carrots at the grocery store. Those would also work really well in summer rolls. Other things you can pack in here are salad greens, sprouts, really anything. No hard and fast rules for these guys. Also, I've got some tofu baking in the oven. I cut the tofu into similar shapes like this, kind of like long matchstick shapes. And I just tossed it with a little bit of soy sauce, and I put it in at 400 degrees, and it's been in there for about 20 minutes now. So I'm gonna pull that out when we start assembling. But you can add chicken, you could add fish. If you had like leftover already cooked chicken, that would make this even easier to throw together. And then we're also gonna pair this with a really nice peanut Thai sauce. We're gonna make it a little spicy because I like the spice. Let's do just one more carrot. Do one more piece here. And then I'm gonna get out that mandolin and we'll slice the cabbage. So just looking at kind of what I'm doing right now, do you guys have anything in your fridge? Any vegetables in your fridge or proteins that you think you could throw into a summer roll? I mean, I know you have to gotta get the rice paper wraps first, but it's always good just to start thinking about things that you would do. It's always good to think about recreating these dishes in your own kitchen. Helps to prime those juices. Okay. Lastly, we're gonna do the cabbage. Any cabbage works. Like I said, love the purple cabbage. You know what? I'm going to cut this guy too, make it a little bit easier to shred. And let's see, I want you to be able to see this in action because this is one of my favorite things to do. I've used this before on the show. This is a Ben Reiner mandolin, Japanese mandolin. Really cool. There's like 3 or 4 different blades that you can use on this, and you can change the thickness of the slice by raising or lowering the blade here. It's really easy to clean. I love it. And I love doing things like this for salads. I feel like salads get really boring fast. So if you can, even something as simple as changing the shape or texture of your vegetable by cutting it in a different way makes all the difference when it comes to salad. And so shredding my cabbage thinly like this is one of my favorite things to do because it acts almost like another type of lettuce. So it just helps to switch things up a little. This is saying green peppers. Ooh, that would be really good. Yeah, bell peppers, all bell peppers, good. And you could do just like you could just do bell peppers and chicken, honestly. I mean, it can be as simple or complex as you want it to be. Now I'm mangling this cabbage here, so I'm just gonna take out the inner part of it, which is harder, thicker, kind of holds together a little bit more. Just be careful once you get close to the blade, you don't cut your finger. I don't know if anybody saw our cooking show that we did in Costa Rica. Our friend unfortunately cut her finger while she was giving a how to cut garlic demo. You can go back and watch that if you're interested. You don't actually see the finger being cut off, but you see all of the commotion that occurred afterwards. And shave the fatty palm part of your palm. Yeah, let's not do that, right? Don't want to do that. Knock on wood, that's actually never happened to me. Diane, I have to go make a salad after you're over. Oh, good. Wonderful. Yeah, just a fancy knuckle buster. We could come up with all sorts of nicknames for the mandolin. I like what we're going here. Knuckle buster, fatty palm slicer. I'm sure we can come up with a bunch of others. Okay. So we've got that. Wonderful. So let's go ahead and get this rice paper business going. I'm going to check the tofu real quick just to see where we're at. Oh, yeah. That's actually looking pretty good. So I'm going to turn the heat off here and get this out, kind of let it cool off before we need it. I couldn't get my over the stove camera working tonight, so bear with me. And just for reference, the tofu that I do like to use is the extra firm tofu because it holds together better, especially for something like this and when you're slicing it in a certain way. So extra firm tofu, if you can find it. Okay, I'm gonna move these veggies out of the way while we get the spring or summer roll paper going. So what I'm gonna do is fill a bowl with water because you have to actually soak the rice paper in water to soften it up, rehydrate it so you can actually work with it. You could bypass the bowl and just run water under your sink and put the paper under water. But I'm gonna do this just because you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'm gonna use less water by doing this. Doesn't matter if it's warm or cold water. And just for those who are interested, rice paper is gluten-free. So if you're following a gluten-free diet, then this is a great recipe for you. Okay, let's get these veggies out of the way real quick. And big bowl of water here. Open your rice paper. And we'll just take one out and I'm just gonna lay it in there. Let it soak for, I don't know, 30 seconds. You don't want to over soak it because then it becomes really difficult to work with. And then what I like to do is use a plate. And I'm going to dab a touch of sesame oil on the bottom. I'm using sesame oil because our Thai sauce uses sesame oil, so I want to keep the flavors consistent. But this little bit of oil is going to help prevent your rice paper from sticking too much to your plate, and will prevent it from ripping when you're trying to pick it up. Don't want too much oil though, because then your wrap gets like super slippery on the outside. So I would say like a dime size, a dime and a half size of oil there on the bottom. Okay. I left this in the water too long already. So you can see how papery and pliable this has become. And so what I'm gonna do is just lay it out on my plate. Sometimes the ends will start to like roll up on each other, but it's not a big deal. You can just peel them back. And one other trick that I like to use is when I put it on my plate, I'm going to let a little bit hang over the edge here on the back of my plate, like that, so that I have a place to pick it up and start rolling. Otherwise, you're trying to like pick it up off the plate, it's all slippery and it's just difficult to work with. So just stretch this out as much as possible, and then we're gonna start putting our ingredients in the center here. And so what we'll do is we'll just start working in the middle of the wrapper, and we'll layer our vegetables accordingly. So I'm gonna start with some purple cabbage. We'll do a few sticks of carrot here, some bell pepper. Cilantro would also be really good in this. And if you're wondering, well, this is just a bunch of raw, tasteless vegetables, what about the flavor? We're gonna make that sauce, that Thai peanut dipping sauce in just a second. It's just like 4 ingredients, it's delicious. Okay, so once you've got your veggies in there, then you're just gonna pick up that edge that's hanging off the plate here and roll it like you would a burrito. Roll it a little bit, tuck the sides in like that, and then finish rolling it up. You'll get better, like they'll get tighter the more that you do it, but pretty simple, right? Just like that. Oh, Silas said he would actually try this. Silas sounds like one of the most adventurous eaters I know. Good for you, Silas. You won't know if you like it until you try it, right? That's what my mom used to always tell me. This is saying I'm sort of in disbelief, but I'm hopeful. Diana's saying, oh, I can see a million ways I could screw that up. Okay, so I'll be honest with you, you might screw a couple up. That's just what happens when you try something new. But just keep trying it. Keep trying it, and eventually it'll become very, very easy. It's like anything in life, right? We never do anything right or perfect the first time. We probably never do anything perfect ever, but I think you get the drift here. I'm confident that you all can do this. You can do it. I'm just gonna place this guy right here, and I'm just gonna roll a couple more. So let's get some, just to give you, oh, you know what? I forgot the tofu, didn't I? We'll do this, we'll do the tofu in this one. I'll just do one more and then I'll make the peanut sauce. So these, like I said, don't need a whole lot of time. It's always good to, instead of dropping it and leaving it in here and walking away like I did, because if you've never done this before, it's good to just do this, kind of like dip it in and out of the water, feel what it feels like as the water is starting to rehydrate it. It becomes a little bit more, it feels like plastic almost. It's not plastic though, don't worry. And then once it gets to the point where it's kind of like borderline plastic and borderline snot, I don't know if that's a good word. Maybe like, I don't know. I can't really find a word for it right now. Once it starts getting very soft and kind of leaving its plasticky phase is when you want to go ahead and put it on your plate. That was a horrible choice of words, I'm sorry. Okay, again, leaving that little edge to hang off. Okay, do a little more cabbage. Oh yeah. Kind of like a burrito, you just don't want to overstuff it, right? So just try not to overstuff it. Then no cilantro, you keep forgetting. Oh, how can I forget? I forget because I love cilantro. I just can't imagine not enjoying it, but I understand. I understand. It's fine. No cilantro. You could do basil. Do you like basil? Or you could do, if you have like an herb garden, now that it's summer, you could do some kind of herbs. I'm gonna grab some pieces of tofu here. Just so you can see, this is the tofu. Not anything very terribly exciting. I know it looks like I burnt stuff, but that's just the soy sauce that kind of burns when it's on the bottom. But that's the shape that I cut the tofu pieces. Yeah, Anissa, I know, I'm sorry. Maybe Silas thought it was funny. Right, adding some tofu in here. Do you guys like tofu? Anybody like tofu? How do you like to cook it? Or you think it's not really for you? Okay, roll this puppy over. Oh yeah, this is a nice fat one. And sometimes if your matchsticks are too long, they will poke through and poke a hole in your rice wrapper. It might happen, not a big deal. You can eat it still. So pretty and fun. Ooh, pesto, that's a good idea. Ooh, yeah, pesto. You could do like a chicken pesto wrap or like a caprese salad wrap with pesto. Maybe do some like mozzarella, tomato, basil, pesto. That would be really good. You've actually inspired me to do that. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds delicious. Nessa's saying, I've only ever tried tofu in the bottom of miso soup. Oh yeah, very common ingredient or traditional ingredient in miso soup. Do you like it in the miso soup? Or are you kind of like, I just eat it because it's in there? Just gonna make some room here so we can get our bowl for the delicious peanut sauce. Hopefully no peanut allergies here. Ooh, caprese, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, bowl. These are the ingredients that we're using. Sesame oil, rice vinegar. If you don't have rice vinegar, you can use like a white vinegar, a white balsamic vinegar, or you could use lime juice. The point is that we're introducing some kind of acid into this. So however you can get your acid, even if it's like orange juice, you could do orange juice if that's all you had. Soy sauce, of course, and peanut butter. A word on the peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter is my favorite and I think is the best in this recipe. We ran out of crunchy peanut butter or I would be using it tonight. So if you do like crunchy peanut butter and you've got it on hand, that would be perfect in this. Or if you have regular peanuts, you could chop up some peanuts and also throw them in this. You could also do that with sesame seeds. Get creative with it. Okay, so I really don't like to measure too much, but what we'll do is roughly 3 tablespoons. We'll say that's 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of sesame oil, 3 tablespoons, so equal parts of sesame oil and acid, or rice vinegar in my case here. Okay, we'll do just about, I don't know, 2 to 3 teaspoons, not quite a full tablespoon of soy sauce. And just remember, you can always add things later at the end when you taste it. That's the fun part, is tasting it and kind of modifying it to what you want it to taste like. Oh, Nissa's saying creamy is better. Linda! Hi, Linda. It's been so long. I miss seeing you on here. This looks so yummy. It is delicious. It is delicious. So good seeing you. Okay, I'm just shaking up my peanut butter because I don't think this one's been opened yet. Now my hands are all slimy and I can't open it. Any tricks for opening your jar of peanut butter? I think I'm gonna have to get the husband to do this right now. It sounds like there's plastic on it, but there's not. Okay, Diane, do you keep those ingredients in your pantry or did you get it just for this? I actually do keep them in my pantry because we do a lot of stir fries here. And so we always use sesame oil and soy sauce in a stir fry. Always have peanut butter. I eat peanut butter every day. And then we typically have rice vinegar on hand. I mean, it takes us a while to go through this one bottle, but it's there and we have it. Oh gosh, okay. I'm gonna enlist the help of someone real quick. Can you open this peanut butter for me? I can't get it. Ah, thank you. To the rescue. Okay, I'm gonna grab a spoon and mix this up. It says, so orange juice instead of the rice vinegar. Yes, so just remember vinegar is an acid. So any kind of acid you can swap out with the rice vinegar. So something acidic like orange juice, lime juice, you could do lemon juice, or like a white balsamic vinegar or any other kind of vinegar that you might have on hand. Linda, I miss you. I miss you too. You're in Florida right now trying to get a tan like me. Well, I was sort of not in Florida, but I was in Costa Rica this past week. That's why I have a wonderful tan. I have to say, it feels very strange waking up in the morning and not going to the beach. Just means we'll have to go again soon, right? Tim, get on it. Tim's actually not here right now. He's got a really bad headache. I had my husband, David, who's in the other room, getting this. Okay. Lastly, that took a lot longer than it should have. I'm sorry about that. Lastly, peanut butter. I'm going to start with, I don't know, roughly 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. And if we want to do more, we can always add more. And what we're going to do is whisk this together. Until we have a nice thick and creamy dipping sauce. Yes, this looks so good. And if you wanted a little spice, you could add sriracha, red chili flake, or some other kind of hot sauce that you have. We have a really good chili garlic sauce that would be good in this too. I know, poor Tim. Poor Tim. We all have our days, right? Where we need to just take a break. All right, let's taste it. Ooh, that's good. It's tangy. I feel like it needs a little something though. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more sesame oil. And I feel like maple syrup, just a little bit of maple syrup would be good in this. Just to add like a touch of sweetness. When we think about making a sauce, I want to try to get all of those flavor components. So we've got the salty from the soy sauce. We've got the tart from or bitter from the acid. We've got the savory from the peanut butter and the sesame oil. And so having a little bit of sweet in there can really help balance things out. So I'm just going to do that real quick. And so got maple syrup here, 100% maple syrup, real maple syrup, no Aunt Jemima, no Aunt Jemima. Whoops, sorry. We'll do, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. Oh yeah, that was it. Just a little bit of maple syrup. A little bit goes a long way. Not gonna break the bank with a little bit of maple syrup in your sauce. Okay, so that's it. That's all. Easy, right? Easy, right? Let's give it a try. I'm gonna get, fancy. You can pour your sauce in some individual serving bowls, or you can just stand in the kitchen and eat it like this. Yeah, that looks delicious. It's nice and thick and it coats the spring roll. Mm-hmm. That's delicious. It's so refreshing. I love that you measure like a normal person. Yes, yes. Getting out the utensils like the measuring spoons and the measuring cups are a good way to learn how to eyeball measurements, but once you've got that down, you don't really need those things. Or, I think it's a really good way to experiment. Cooking it's an experiment, always. Like, I actually made something last night that I've never made before, and it was okay. My husband and I agreed that it was okay. It wasn't one of my better meals, but you never learn how to make, or you never arrive upon those amazing meals unless you have some of those meals that are just kind of mediocre. You learn something every time you cook. Hi, Tim. Wish I delivered? Maybe I will. You would buy these? What would you pay for these? Also, these aren't really a complete dinner. I guess you could have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. You'd get really full on vegetables and protein, and that could be a dinner. But if you want to balance it out with a little something extra, you could serve a piece of grilled salmon or chicken with it, and maybe have some potatoes. When we think about balancing our meal or our plate at mealtime, we want to get a little bit from each food group. So you want half your plate with vegetables, and then you want a little bit of protein and a little bit of wholesome carbohydrate. So figuring out a way to balance these guys out. Do you well. Yay, I'm glad everyone thinks it looks delicious. Wonderful, and you're gonna try it for sure. Awesome. Let us know. Share your pictures on our page when you try it. I'm just gonna eat this last piece here. Silas said he wants 5 of them. Good on you. Eating your vegetables. Uh-oh, dropped all the veggies in the sauce. Got a very healthy appetite. Silas, what kind of vegetables would you put in your wrap? Or what kind of food would you put in your wrap? Yeah, 5. I think 5 would be pretty good. It's amazing how quickly you'll fill up with these. Okay, last bite here. So good. All right. Well, that wraps up our wonderful show for tonight. That was a fun one. Very fun. I hope you guys make it. Let me know if you make them and what you put inside of them. Tag Cook With Me TV. We'd love to see your creations. Definitely going to try that caprese one with pesto because that sounds delicious and I can't wait to try that one. Come back here next Wednesday. I'm not quite sure what we'll be making next Wednesday. If you guys have any requests of things that you want to see more of or make or learn to make, please let me know. Happy to take suggestions from the group. I love cooking with you guys, so thanks for being here with me. It's fun. All right, everybody have a wonderful evening, and until next time, be well.